In this video, we're going to look at the recruitment process, exactly what this is, and some examples of it being completed. You will inevitably find yourself involved in a similar process as you apply for your first jobs, and potentially further into your career, you may find yourself on the other side of the table interviewing your own candidates. As a reminder, recruitment is identifying a need for a new employee, and then attracting that employee, eventually hiring someone for the job. It is about getting the right person for the right role at the right time. Someone with the right skills and capabilities to meet the organisation's needs. If the business has a HR team, they will generally work alongside the manager who needs to recruit. The business may also decide to involve a recruitment agency, particularly if they are looking for specialist skills. To all the teachers out there, show all of these videos without any ads and gain access to our growing library of over 500 teaching worksheets. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? You need to know that a recruitment agency is a business who does a large deal of the recruitment process for you. They will recommend some candidates that they have found for the role, and this can save a great deal of time, but it does come at a cost. Before we go any further though, let's meet this video's main example. This is Jacob Nash, and he has just been hired by a company called Insectnon Ltd. They deal with major bug infestations and have just been awarded a contract to deal with bug extermination for the local council. The owner, Anne, already employs 3 members of staff. 2 of them are bug exterminators called Neil and Dave, and the other is an administrator called Christina. She deals with bookings, finance, and the HR for Insectnon. Let's go through the recruitment process step by step and look at what stages Insectnon would have gone through from the start of the process to getting Jacob in his snazzy new work attire and out on the job. To start with, Insectnon will need to identify the vacancy that actually needs to be filled. This stage is referred to as job analysis, or sometimes even more simply, identifying a vacancy. In some cases, if the vacancy has come up because a member of staff has left, then they will need to work out whether they need to recruit someone to do exactly the same job, an exact replacement, or whether new responsibilities will be involved or new skills required. So, for example, the new role may have additional management responsibilities, or require different technical skills, such as the use of a particular IT system or a piece of equipment. When Anne hears that she has been successful in her bid for the new bug extermination contract from the council, she's absolutely delighted, but also realises that she's going to need another member of staff. Anne sets about coming up with the best way to get a new person on board. She wants to get it right the first time, as she can't afford the disruption of getting the wrong person and then having to start all over again. The next stage in the recruitment process is to create the job description. This document details all of the information about the job itself. The job description will be used to advertise the vacancy and will list all of the key information that is involved in the role. This includes the job title and responsibilities of the role, what they would do along with the hours and the place of work. It also includes details of who the job holder would report to and any subordinates who the job holder would be responsible for. Anne has Neil and Dave's existing job description, so her task is already complete. She knows that she wants somebody to do exactly the same as what they do and has this important document ready to go. Bring this video and over 100 more to life with fun, interactive games, quizzes, and case studies. Why not try the first 25 completely free by visiting BizzWizard.co.uk. As well as a job description, a person's specification needs to be created for the job role in question. This is a document that sets out the type of person that you're looking for and lists the skills, characteristics, experience, and qualifications of the ideal person for the job. Those skills, characteristics, and experience may be divided into essentials and desirables. In other words, must-haves and things it would be nice for them to have. Anne decides that essential criteria for this role is a good understanding of hygiene and not being too squeamish around bugs. They would ideally like to find someone who has experience of bug extermination, but they realise that they are unlikely to find someone who has done this job before, as it's a pretty specialised area. Still, they put this down as desirable job experience. Once Anne has created the job description and the person specification, these crucial documents can be used as a basis to advertise the vacancy. We will look in more detail at exactly what is involved in creating a strong job advert in another video, but it basically needs to include all of the key information about the job role and how the candidate can apply. After writing a great job description, person specification, and job advert, Anne is expecting to get lots of people applying for the vacancy. But it's very unlikely that she'd want to interview absolutely everyone who has applied for the job, as it's a very time-consuming process. So that she doesn't have to interview everyone, the next step in the recruitment process is to go through all the applicants received and create a shortlist. To create a shortlist, you look at the CVs, applications and cover letters that you've received, and compare them with the criteria in the job description and the person specification. Anne receives 32 applications for the job in total. She goes through all of the applications and comes up with a shortlist of only 2 candidates, Jacob and Emily. She then invites both for an interview. During this next stage, all of the shortlisted candidates will attend an interview. They will all be asked the same questions, and their answers will be scored against a set of criteria. Doing it this way helps to make sure that the interview process is both fair and accurate. In some cases, the business may also decide to ask the candidates to complete some tests, perhaps to show that they have a specific skill, or to do a psychometric test to see whether they are a good fit for the team. Before the interview, Anne and Christina decide which criteria they are going to score Jacob and Emily on, to help them decide on their final choice. They come up with an interview plan, and will be asking them both the same questions to make the process as fair as possible, and to make it easier to compare the 2 candidates to one another. Each of the video courses over at BizzWizard.co.uk also includes an interactive business case study that applies the knowledge learned to a real-world scenario. There are over 1,000 multiple-choice questions, each with detailed feedback, which tests students' understanding of the content. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? After the interview, Christina and Anne work out the scores. Jacob has scored slightly higher than Emily, particularly because he has more relevant experience as he's worked part-time as a cleaner around his studies. Emily did still do a very good interview though, and they decide to keep her application on file in case they need more staff in the future. Usually, job offers are made subject to references. This means that before the successful candidate is actually appointed to the job and given a contract of employment, their hopefully new employer will contact either the previous employer of the candidate or someone else who can vouch for them. Anne calls Jacob to offer him the job, subject to his old boss at the cleaning company giving him a satisfactory reference, which he later does. Anne then prepares an employment contract for Jacob and sends this to him by email along with the details of his start date and where to report on his first day. She also asks for his measurements so that she can get the right size of protective work clothes ordered in for him. Jacob is really excited about his new career with Insects Begone, particularly that fancy new work outfit. Now that we have worked through an example, let's have a look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of a detailed recruitment process. The aim of a recruitment process is to appoint the best and most suitable candidate for the job vacancy. One advantage of a well thought out and well executed recruitment process is that it is much more likely to deliver the candidate that you want. A detailed and thorough process has the advantage of making it more likely that you'll get the right person and that they'll stay with the business, saving both time and money. If you get the process wrong and the candidate leaves the business, then you have to start the process of recruiting all over again. The disadvantage of using a thorough recruitment process is that it takes a lot of time, and that may be time that you don't really have if you need more staff. It can also be very expensive, especially if you use a recruitment agency, as they will usually charge a percentage of the new starter's salary as a fee. This cost to the business makes it so important to get the recruitment process correct. If you reduce the chances of new employees leaving or not being adequate for the role, it will save you time and money in the long run by not having to replace them so quickly. As we have seen, it's so important for a business like Ann's to get the recruitment process just right, especially as getting it wrong could be very expensive and very time-consuming. Always remember, if you think it sounds time-consuming and expensive to hire the perfect candidate, wait until you employ the wrong candidate and see how costly an impact this might have on your business. This has been the BizzWizard. See you in the next video.